Hello YouTube and welcome to my channel. There are 5 more days until Enfield's release and you'll be faced with a very important choice. After you finish the introduction story, you will be presented with the beginner banner, which is discounted. After only 40 pulls, you'll be able to get one of the 6-star standard characters from it. And the question is, which character is gonna be the best for your account? And let's say you have a favorite character and you don't care about the meta. In that case, what are its advantages and disadvantages? How to properly use him or her? I was one of the lucky dogs that managed to get into the most recent closed beta, so I'm gonna do my best to answer your questions in this video, so you can make the best decision for your account. And I will start with how do you even call Pogranichnik? Okay, I'm just gonna call him Po. He has one job and he does it very well. He regenerates skill points, and in Endfield you do not have a cooldown for your character's skills. If it helps you, you can think of it as a mechanic similar to 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁. As long as you have the skill points, you can just spam it. He's the equivalent of Sparkle in a world where everyone is done hung. Unfortunately, his skill point regeneration depends on the amount of vulnerability stacks on enemies. Vulnerability is a status effect that is applied mostly by physical characters, and right now in the game there is no physical character that can apply 4 vulnerability stacks. He requires 4 in order to get the maximum amount of skill point regeneration from his kit. In other words, he's gonna need to be used with other 2 physical characters, so he's meant to be played on physical teams. And the very first 3 limited characters that we are getting are gonna be Fire, Cryo and Nature. So he's not gonna really have a place on their teams. He's more like, he's gonna age like wine, you know? He's gonna get better in time with more physical characters released. But at the very start of the game, if you want to get his best team, you will need to get Lifeng too. And that is not gonna be easy at all, because Lifeng is another standard character. He's gonna be the strongest physical DPS on launch, and he also buffs the physical damage of other teammates, which is the reason why he makes such a strong combo with Po, also providing a lot of vulnerability stacks. The issue is, he's a standard DPS. No matter what gacha you play, those characters are the very first to go, with many people either going for Levatain or Ivan, and both being limited damage dealers. I have no doubt that they will surpass him in terms of the damage that they deal, so he's gonna be relegated to a second team. And by the end of the beta, I was never forced to build a second team. There are no endgame modes like the Abyss in Genshin or the Tower of Adversity in Wuthering Waves. So yeah, very sad situation. If I was planning to build a physical team, I would go for Po first of all, and only then I would even consider Lifeng. So yeah, outside of liking his design, I don't see the reason to go for him. Can somebody please call 𝗖cie and tell her we finally got her Coco Goat? Ardelia, she's gonna be the best healer and support at launch. And this begs the question, is healing important in Endfield? Well, it is way more important than in Genshin, 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝗁 or Wuthering Waves. In Endfield, all the characters on your team are gonna be on the field at the same time, and they take damage. The characters that you do not control take reduced damage, yes, but they still take that damage and they can die. So having a healer is important to keep everyone topped up. And by the end of the beta, there were some events and stages that had corruption mechanics, where the HP of your team will decrease in time. And Ardelia is not only a healer, but also a support. The healing is just the icing on the cake. Her skill applies a debuff on the targets, making them take 25% more damage. Physical, elemental, does not matter, she just increases the damage of your entire team. And her combo skill is also extremely easy to trigger. I expect her to be an auto-include on every single team at launch. She will be the easy answer to the question which is the best standard character if she was not given for free. Just from logging in, you are gonna be able to get her and her signature weapon, which lowers her priority. You can still get a dupe for her. Her potential one is pretty good. It increases the buff from 25% to 35%. I myself am adverse to getting dupes. I would rather just get a new character and get more flexibility when building the teams, especially at the start of the game. However, for those that care about meta and meta only, considering that Ardelia is gonna be used on every team, and that she does not appear to get power crept anytime soon, getting a dupe for her might just be the answer. 10 out of 10 design, 10 out of 10 personality, miserable gameplay. She is the character I managed to pull during the beta and the one I have the most experience with. I even managed to get multiple dupes of her. She's a nice DPS and she uses a great sword, and because of that her attacks are very slow. And this is very important because A, the enemies are gonna charge their attacks and you want to interrupt them, otherwise you are gonna take a ton of damage. And there are only two ways to interrupt them. Either you hit them with the final strike of your basic attack combo, which for last Rite is very slow and many times you are gonna miss it. And the other way you can interrupt the enemy is by dealing damage with your skill. The issue is that last Rite skill does not deal damage directly. What it does is to empower the last strike of her basic attack, which, well, it just leads us back to the very beginning of our problem, doesn't it? And another big issue is that she's gonna have competition. The second limited character that will be released is Ivan, who is another cryo DPS. She does have some saving graces. She works well with Ivan. Ivan generates cryo infliction and last Rite can consume those inflictions to deal a bazillion of damage. She also increases the cryo damage enemies take, and she also regenerates a part of the skill points she uses, so there is some synergy going on there. And even without Ivan, you can form a very strong last Rite team for very cheap. You are getting Ardelia from login and you are getting Snowshine from pre-registration rewards, so you already have two of her teammates ready. The third one is 𝗖cie, who is a 5-star and is mandatory on cryo teams. 5 stars here are equivalent to 4 stars in other games, so you are bound to get her. It is way cheaper than trying to get a Lifeng or 𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗵 at the same time. With Ardelia being the uncontested number 1 priority, I will say that 𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗵 and last Rite fight for number 2. If you wanna play the long game and you are betting on potential physical characters being released in the future and turning the physical team into a meta threat, then 𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗵 is your guy. If you are going for the short term, then having a DPS with a strong and cheap team that you can build right off the bat, like last Rite, should be your go-to. And lastly, Ember. For all the other characters, I had something good to say about them. It's not the case here. She is a healer and a shielder, and that's it. She does not provide any buffs to the team, and she does not regenerate any skill points, does not provide any utility outside of improved survivability, which is not gonna matter when you have Ardelia from the start. I just don't see any reason to pull for her, which is sad. I truly love her design, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, all the standard characters are gonna get power crept sooner or later. Ardelia and 𝗶𝗴𝗵𝗵 I expect to be the ones to last the most, but that's at the mercy of 𝗖cie𝗽𝗆𝗆𝗵𝘁. So anyway, what character do you guys plan to go for? Please let me know down below. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, have a wonderful day, good luck with your pulls, and bye for now, and see you on Talos 2.